Did the A's start? Or they
The bottom 3, nothing.
Okay.
I imagine you must have a Sonny rooting interest in this.
Yeah,
game.
exactly. Yeah.
Did you meet him when you were there that day?
I did. He was actually the guy that caught the pitch when I threw it out.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I had a chance to visit with him a long time. Really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool, young,
He's
easy
only
going.
about 6 months older than some of your players,
I know he's young.
He's a kid.
He's not very big either,
He's a little guy.
Yeah, he is, but he's
smart. He went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, pretty interesting guy. Talking to him, he's fun guy to talk to.
You got some disappointing news, I'm sure, on McClure.
Yeah, just hate it for him. Personally, I know he's been through a lot to try to get back into play, and he worked incredibly hard. And it's just disappointing. But he's a great kid, and he'll work through it. And I think it's going to be one of those situations where hopefully we'll get him back for second half of spring football, and he can get a little bit of work done there.
What did they find when they went in there?
I honestly don't know. I thought it was. I think it had something to do with the meniscus, but I don't know exactly.
But it's not ACL.
No, nothing like that. No.
Is it so? None of the ligaments were
No,
involved.
No.
So it could have been worse than.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. It's not a 9-month injury.
Have you talked to him?
Yeah.
And what's his mood and how's he doing?
Oh, he's good. He's disappointed, obviously, but he's like a lot of these guys. He's disappointed he's not having a chance to play and contribute, and especially him. It's kind of been a long journey, but but he'll be back.
And Jalen and Joel, we kind of expected that earlier in the week they would be out.
I honestly, I kind of thought they might be back, but but they're not. So we're moving on.
What's the timetable on when Jaleel has his surgery?
I think it's next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's. I want to say it's Thursday of next week.
And can you talk about just what you expect to get out of Kalfani? You promoted him this week, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you about that.
Yeah, we're going to see. I think he's been really productive. I mean, when we sat down and started looking at the stats of the guys, he's been probably the most productive of the backs, and has given us the most pop, we feel like, and just think I think he's probably ready to play, ready to start. So we're gonna start him and kind of see how it goes.
Has he also been maybe the most versatile of them in terms of what you were able to do with him?
Yeah, I think so.
And running?
I think so, and really in a lot of ways he's been the most physical back. He's run behind his pads probably as good as any of them, and finished runs as well as any of them. And so I think that's, we'll kind of see. We'll play several guys like we always do. So
sure.
But he'll get his carries.
Having him back on kickoff return. How much did you miss him last week? And was that big low fumble? Did you kind of say, boy, I wish we would have?
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things. I mean, it's like anything. If you got an injury, somebody's got to step up, and their job's to step up and to do well. And, and so it's, like I said, that's part of football. Is when somebody goes down, somebody else got to step up and do a good job.
I worked out some numbers, and when you get inside the 20, you've run 38 running plays for an average of 1.7 yards a play. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, that's not good. And it's not going to be as many, is because that's typically what happens, because not to that extent.
Right.
I mean, that's not running the ball well. But normally your red zone runs aren't going to be as long. So that's something we've got to improve on. I mean, it's been an issue, and something we've got to get addressed.
How's the week been for your team?
Good. It's been really good. Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, these guys are resilient. They practiced well, and I think they're excited to go play.
I mean, the season hasn't so far gone the way you wanted. You feel like you're keeping their enthusiasm up?
Oh, very much so. Yeah. And I think the funny thing about this team is in a lot of the ways this team has to get better, it's made noticeable improvements, and it necessarily hasn't carried over to Saturday. Mm-hmm. And that's usually the last step. We're ready for it to carry over, and we need for it to carry over. But these guys have come a long way in terms of understanding what our expectations are and doing things the right way and practicing. And as I said, I'm ready for it to show on Saturday like everybody else is. But there's been more improvement than people probably outside the program are aware of.
How would you compare this year to your first year at La Tech when we almost lost to Arkansas State?
Central Arkansas, really. They should have beat us. I mean, it's similar. I mean, the funny thing about it is, when you get hired someplace, it's usually one of two reasons. It's because, somebody moved on, or, somebody wasn't successful. And in both cases, a lot of times when guys move on, kind of like we did at Louisiana Tech, we had a lot of seniors. And so there's always a little bit of a rebuilding job. And if you move on because someone wasn't successful, then there's usually problems. And so it's, there's always a lot of work that needs to be done when you're building a program. In some ways, I think we're ahead of where we ought to be, and in other ways we're behind. And as I said, the thing that we want to do is play well on Saturday, and that's something that we haven't done. And that's our most important thing, is to put a product out there that's good. It gives us a chance to win. But as I said, you've got to, I believe in building it, from the building the foundation and building it from the floor up. And sometimes those things don't show up as much as the other things. But they're all different, but there are similarities certainly. And our guys kept grinding there at Louisiana Tech, and we grounded out some wins, and then built off of that the next year, and kind of got hot and got it going.
At least on the offensive side, do you sort of feel like if you can sort of get your running game going a little bit, you're going to be in pretty good shape?
Yeah, I think it. I felt like at times we were close to getting all the pieces put together. There's got to be a lot more consistency, and that's where you struggle with young players and young teams, and just because consistency comes from doing something over and over and over and over, and these guys haven't really done it over and over and over and over. And so, that's our issue. Right now we're pretty explosive at times, and we offensively will look decent at times, but it's not that consistent level of execution that you want to have.
Is their speed on defense a concern for you?
Yeah, they can run well. That's what they do. They run well defensively, and they make plays. That's the best thing that you can say about their football team, is they make plays. I mean, if there's a tip ball, they intercept it. If the ball's on the ground, they recover the fumble. On third down, they if it's 3rd and 8, they may give up 7.5, but they're not giving up 8. And so that's kind of been what they've done all year. They've been productive, and they've played fast, and you can tell they're playing with confidence. And I think that's the byproduct.
That linebacker core, pretty good.
Yeah. The young guy especially. He's been real active and shows up a lot, and is a flashy guy and makes a lot of plays. So between Barr and Jack and those guys, I mean, they've got a lot of speed at the defensive end linebacker spot.
I think 4 out of their 6 picks against Utah either were by linebackers or directly built on linebackers. Yeah,
I think 5 of the 6 were tip balls, and so they've done a good job of rallying to the football and then making plays on it when they have chances to. And as I said, that's usually the sign of a defense that's playing fast. It's got a little bit of experience, and most importantly, probably playing with confidence.
Are you still thinking maybe 2 weeks away from Cochran back, or is there an evaluation of where that's
at? Probably. I would say that's the neighborhood, and then when he gets back, how long it's going to take him before he can, be ready to contribute.
But nothing's changed there. You're still hoping that you'll have him back.
I would think that his stuff, I think in 2 weeks, I think he'll have a chance to get back out here and see what we can do.
So 2 weeks until he's healthy enough, and then God knows how long after that.
Yeah, and then we'll see. Yeah.
And nothing new with Forbes.
No, nothing. I think he showed signs today that he's getting healthier. I mean, or not today, this week rather, that he's getting healthier.
But you don't necessarily expect him to play tomorrow?
We're starting him on a kickoff return team. Okay. Going to get him in there and see how he does when he do some live bullets flying. And see.
That'll be the most he's done, though, right?
That'll be the most he's done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.